But it's winter now, it's dark and cold. Where is the light? A year just passed, we now call old. Where is the light? When the sun runs off to bed too soon, where is the light? And there's nothing but a skinny moon. Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. When it's dark each morning when I rise, where is the light? And it's still dark when my eggs are fried. Where is the light? And it's dark when off to work I go. Where is the light? And it's dark again when I get home. Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. It's in my skin, in my bones, it's in my soul, in my heart. A light of light so bright and golden like a summer day. When the sun goes missing from the sky, it is rising in my eyes, chasing all the winter gloom away. And I'm burning bright like kerosene. Where is the light? I'm twinkling like the Pleiades. Where is the light? And I'm dancing like a candle flame. Where is the light? And I'm flaming like a fruit flambe. Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Where is that light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time, everybody. Little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Woo, welcome.
It is the last Sunday of January. What's that mean? Potluck. I knew this group would know the answer to that question. If for no other reason, it's a good Sunday, isn't it? When it's Potluck Sunday. Welcome. Glad you're here. Glad you braved the fierce weather that we're having to come out and join us. So thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm going to invite us today. Take a good big deep breath with me. Let that out. And do another one of those. Who was breathing? Okay. And who's the I? Was it this body that was breathing? Was it my mind thinking about it breathing? Was there something else involved in that process? Just inviting you to start thinking about that today, because this is the day to be astonished. And each and everything that takes place today, I hope that you recognize more of what there's to be astonished about. The fact that this weather is beautiful is something to be astonished about. But our own beauty and our own magnificence is something to be astonished about, as well as our own struggles and strife and small-mindedness and ego. That's something to be astonished about too, but to be in recognition of. So with that, I'm going to invite you to join me in prayer. And as we take another one of those deep breaths in and exhale it out, knowing that here, present, in this space, but in that breath, meaning me, the one that was inhaling and exhaling, the divine is alive. There's one power, one source, one presence. And as it moves in and out, it's moving in and out in me, through me, and as me. And today I recognize and celebrate all that astonishes me. The divine that's in movement. The life that I have. The wonderful, glorious things that are in my life that I celebrate. And the things that I struggle with, that I have strife with. That those too are the divine in motion. Me expressing as divine is there in each and every one of those places. And today I will embrace and be more astonished in how I can address that, where I can take that to discover more deeply that there's one power, one source, one presence, and that is flowing in me and through me and as me. And with that, I say thank you for that acknowledgement. Thank you that I recognize that. And thank you that I have a family to celebrate that with. And so it is. Amen. And what's the next part that I know y'all like? Meet and greet. You get to meet your neighbors. So say hi to someone.
All right, as we make our way reluctantly back to our seats, if you would like, you can please stay standing for this next song. It's a hymnal-like song that some of you might be familiar with. Feel free to sing along if you know it, or if you don't know it, by the time we get to the second verse, you might know it. Sing then. I, the Lord, sea and sky, I have heard my people cry. All who dwell in dark and sin, my hand will save. I who made the stars of night, I will make their darkness bright. Who will bear my light to them? Who shall I send? Here I am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord. If you lead me, I will hold your people in my heart. I, the Lord of snow and rain, I have borne my people's pain. I have wept for love of them. They turn away. I will break their hearts of stone, give them hearts for love alone. I will speak my word to them. Who shall I send? Here I am, Lord. It is I, Lord. I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord. If you lead me, I will hold your people in my heart. Thank you.
If this is your first time here, welcome. I want you to know you're welcome here. Make yourself at home. Know that you belong here. There was a divine appointment is why you showed up today. So know that, dive into that. Know you belong here. And that we as a community welcome you, and we as individuals welcome you. So make yourself comfortable. Know that this is Potluck Sunday, as we've already mentioned. Hang afterwards, get to meet people. You didn't bring something, we don't care. There'll be so much left over, we'll be trying to figure out who's going to take it home. So come, stay, enjoy yourself. This is where we light the Christ candle, and our Christ candle is a representation of the light that's within us, the divine that expresses here, that expresses in us, through us, as us. That's the Christ nature that we refer to. So the Christ candle, as we light it, we're acknowledging. Is it stumping you? Do we need to?
Show me how to
Push it up.
make it look so easy.
That's right. Well, we sometimes do need someone to help us know how to shine our own light. That is true. That is true. Yay. There we go. With the moral of the story being that the light always shines. Yes. Yes. It's not on. There we go. Y'all all know I have so much fun with these, right? Our statement of being, if you'll join me in reading this together. I am an individualized expression of God. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance.
So this next song, I just keep in mind that I wrote this song when I was still living up north. However, so it is about, yeah, a few weeks ago it was north down here. So it is about winter, but it doesn't really matter because it's really a metaphor about winter. So winter is fast upon us. The wind is howling through the barren trees. The snow has fallen several times already, and it's covered up the crispy, crunchy, colored autumn leaves. The holidays are fading from our memory, and spring is just a whisper from the south. We mostly stay inside and hide from bitter cold and icy roads and try to keep our coldest thoughts entering our mouths. The days are short, the nights are long. Our challenge is to know that this is not forever song. And even though the snow is kind of pretty, we forget this while we're driving on the roads. We wonder if we're ever going to get where we are going without having to call someone for a tow. It tests our patience every day. We search the roads ahead in hope we'll find a better way. Heavy hearts buried deep beneath the snow. Warmer thoughts will return its cheery glow. This much I know. Warming thoughts, thawing heart, cheery glow. I think I'll head south next year, or just move here.
Thank y'all. Always enjoy Tam's creative adventures. So thank you, Tam. Where to start today? I have a start, but I have a week that has been infusing itself into my life. So that keeps bringing me to an awareness of myself, of what's taking place within me. And that has made it an interesting week for me. Anytime he keeps bringing yourself, life keeps bringing you back to yourself, it's an interesting week. That may infuse itself in today's talk because I'm having one of those mornings that I'm kind of like, I don't want to talk about what I came to talk about. And I know some of what I want to share, but I hadn't really prepared all that. So should I stick to my little talk and share what I've laid out a little more? And I know, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to share more of where I feel like I want to go, knowing that I don't know exactly where I'm going to go. So y'all get to hang along for the ride as well as I do. I do know there's a couple things that have gotten my attention this week. One of my classes, we're reading the Christian scriptures, and we're looking at them from a point of view of who wrote them and when were they written and what was going on at that time. So why were those people interested in those topics, and why were those authors writing the way they wrote? And why were things like we have 4 gospels and they all 4 have different themes within them, and they have some of those stories are in one and the stories aren't in the other, and it seems like a confusing mess at times. But in there, I've got to read lots of different things and it take me on different tangents. And one of those was, there's a story about, I want to call them a terrorist group, heading toward Damascus. And this group is on a search and destroy mission. And they have been quite good at this, probably quite lethal at this as well. And along the way, a great light shines on them, and a voice that they don't really know who's saying it, but comes through and says, "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me?" In this story, that was a defining moment for Saul. Saul, from there on, was never the same. He was transformed in that moment. And we know Saul as who? Paul. Right. And Paul, talking about the Christian scriptures, Paul probably wrote 13 books in the New Testament. The scholars pretty much agree on 7 of those being his, but we think 13. And many of us would say that Christianity today is really Paulism today, because so much it was Paul's thoughts and opinions about what it meant to be a follower of Jesus. So he wrote prolifically, of which is carried on and we still have today, but he's the one that shared the story of Jesus Christ. He's the one that helped start churches. He moved Christianity into the world in a powerful way. So his transformation affected lots of people, not just him. But he was never the same. He went from being someone that absolutely persecuted Christians to being the Christian that wanted to I can't talk today, wanted to share it, wanted to spread it, wanted to make sure that others knew about that message. So here's someone that their transformation was incredibly obvious and dramatic. And for us today, I want us to touch on transformation, because transformation is to change in composition, character, condition, or appearance. But the transformation I'm talking about is self-transformation. It's recognizing that we have the ability in our lives to be transformed, not just to make changes, but to be transformed, to have the recognition of who and what we are, to move from that place of ego, of striving and struggling with our egoic mind, our arrogance, our attitudes, our belief systems that make us think and believe a certain way, which isn't the reality of the moment. It's just based in our opinion coming from our ego about the way things are. Where transformation is taking us deeper into the awareness of who we are, what we are, the awareness of the Christ that's alive within us all. Transformation, the type of transformation I'm talking about, how does it affect your life? Do you become a Paul? You might, but it might be the transformation is simply a step-by-step process for you, that it's easier for you. I've had some transformations in my life that I know were truly spiritual, because all transformation is spiritual. Not everything that we learn in spirituality is transformative, but transformation is spiritual. Some of my transformations, I kicked and screamed through the process. It wasn't a gentle process for me. But mostly, transformation is a step-by-step, just movement and flow. And there are people in this room that want that transformation. You want to know who you are. You want to know the reality of the moment. You want to know that what's taking place in your thoughts and your ego, that isn't all that there is. That isn't necessarily the truth of the moment. You want to know what the truth is. And that's someone that's asking for transformation. And I know some of you in this room, you don't know that you're asking for transformation. You're not sure that's really what you're thinking about at all. But you are thinking about, what's my life purpose? Where's my soulmate? Boy, I want a different job, a better job. But I want more in my life. I want more abundance and prosperity. I want more adventure and pleasure and joy. To me, I'll offer to you that that's you asking for transformation. You just haven't made the leap yet that what you're asking for is a spiritual change. You're focused on what's obvious in our lives. But to me, that is the transformation. You're asking for it. You're just asking for it in a very specific way at the moment. So to me, we all are asking for that transformation. And it will look completely different for us. We won't have the same paths and same journeys. The fun of it, though, is we get to walk along the same road when we're in a spiritual community. But we don't have to be going to the same destination. We just get to share the same road. And that's transformation too. And the joy of a community is that there are people there to share that transformation. Anyone know the term dark night of the soul? That's transformation. That's a hard road to be in a dark night of the soul. And to have someone with you, especially having a community with you, is a powerful step in helping you move through that. Doesn't They don't make you move through it. Sometimes they're not the ones that offer you anything other than just their presence and their love to help you in the process. They may not give you necessarily any tools for that. This fella up here, he's kind of two-dimensional, isn't he? He's rather flat. Transformation is changing our perception of our reality. Really what dimension we're in. Here's a two-dimensional guy. He knows north, south, east, west. Okay? So here is a third-dimensional voice jumps in and says, upward. What does two-dimensional guy do with upward? Right? It means nothing to two-dimensional. And three-dimensional can keep saying upward, but two-dimensional is going, I don't know what you mean. That's also part of our transformational process, is we can try and talk about it, but we can't describe it because it's such an internal awareness, a growth, an experience for us that we can point the way, but we don't do a very good job of describing it. It's like describing to a blind man who hasn't seen since birth what the color orange is that we have here. Right? How can you possibly relate that color? What would be the better option? How about you help them see? What if that blind person now has sight? That, to me, is part of the recognition of transformation, is that you're now moving into that third dimension so that you're moving out of what did not seem to be part of your perspective that now becomes part of who you are, because you're moving into that. You're having sight within it. We share lots of things here at Unity. I'm getting more and more clear in my life what transformation means to me. I'm attempting to share that well with y'all. But we don't just share transformation here. We share the ability to help us in our moment-to-moment life with our struggles and our strife in life. We're often in the process of sharing our spirituality. What we're really sharing are the things that help us better soothe our egos. Right? That's not a bad thing. It's, though, recognizing that we're helping us learn the skills and tools to help us work better within our ego, to help our egos be more at ease in life. Right? But that's not transformation. That's actually translation, when you're helping you have better skills and abilities to adapt in life, is translation. Transformation is actually diving in so that you not focused on the ego, but focused on the inner voice, that small, still voice within that's bringing forth for us that I have my own wisdom within me, and that I don't need to look outside of me for that wisdom. I don't need to follow society's morality code because I have my own morality code. It's not that I'm absent of morality. It's that I now connect to a depth that I have such compassion and love that that compassion and love becomes my morality, how I interact with the world, who I am in the world. So we're sharing here often steps that are translation, but we're also talking about transformation. And we're also doing what I already said. Sometimes we're just pointing the way. Y'all hear me harp all the time about prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation, in some ways, is a translation practice. It's helping you with your ego. But it's also a practice that's staying with it. It's transformative. How you experience that just depends on where you're at, what you're doing at the moment. And We want to grow up in life. If I'm a child, am I bad because I'm a child? No. We don't condemn a child because they don't have the experience and wisdom and the size of an adult. We don't go there at all. But when we're in our egoic life, we're in that childish phase of our life. And we want to grow up. We want to expand beyond that. We want to do what's natural, and that is mature. So we are in that process of bringing that maturity, of growing up in our life. Some of us know this one. There's a howling taking place. You know what I mean by that? Do you hear that inner call that's taking place in your lives? Some of you appreciate it in the ways that I already mentioned. You appreciate it. Oh, I want to know my purpose. I want to have absolute clarity about my purpose in life. To me, that's the call. But some of you truly know that I have touched what's in here. I have, in some cases, dove in deep into what's in here. And I feel that call of bringing me into it more. That I want to have that experience in more depth and more feeling in my life. I want to know the truth of who I am. And to me, that's the call. These are, to me, great images of that call. Because sometimes that call just feels like you're just howling to the moon. And you don't always feel that you know exactly what you're howling about, what that call is. But you also sometimes not convinced you got the partner to howl with. That to me is spiritual community. That's why we come together in community. That's why we take the time and effort to be in a community where sometimes it isn't easy to be with the folks that are in community. Do you know that actually adversity is one of the great catalysts for transformation? Where I feel conflict and struggle in my life is where I'm most likely to be able to make transformative changes that are beyond just my ego, is in the midst of the things that you and I don't want to be in. Don't want to be in that conflict and that adversity. But it's actually a powerful place of transformation. And that's why we want community. Because you can be the monk sitting on the mountaintop and be in isolation and have great transformation. But I'm going to offer that it's far quicker to do it in community. What's brought into your experience and your awareness will unfold much faster in community. There's a thought when we start talking about transformation, about how do I make it happen? Can I just use my great will to make it happen? Can I make myself transform? And the answer to that is no. You can't just say, I want to use my will and I'm transformed now. That won't unfold for you. But you can use your will to help support yourself in the life that leads to transformation. So in some ways, you're using your will to support your ability to use your will to support yourself. So will is not the catalyst that makes transformation happen, makes it happen. It's the aspect of you that puts you into the place to make the decisions and to have the consistency so that you are in that movement of transformation. And from there, the transformation opens up. So You're wanting to step into the old New King James, the King James Version says what? Thy will be done. The newer versions say, your will be done. Your will may be divine will, meaning your, but it's also your will to help support where you're at, your willingness in some ways. Because transformation is most certainly involved with surrender. And it's a word we don't like, do we? We don't want to surrender to anybody. I ain't surrendering to Tam. What possibly reason would he think I want to surrender to him? Okay? He can't have nothing over me. You can't? You do every day, don't you? Surrender is about our willingness to let go of what we're attached to. Surrender is in some ways is a material surrender. For some of us, that is letting go of our attachments to the things in our life, that we're so entrenched in holding on to those that we can't do something else. We can't allow something else in our life because I'm too focused on holding on to this tenaciously. And for some of us, we need to surrender into letting go of the material. But that doesn't mean that's all of us. It doesn't mean that we have to. For some of us, we can surrender internally. We can surrender and let go of our attachment to our ego's beliefs about the world. And in that surrender, allow ourselves to transform. And what we usually find is that our attachment to the external also gets surrendered and let go of, which doesn't necessarily mean those things go away in our life. We're just no longer attached and holding and gripping, massively gripping onto those. So there's a surrender process. So some of the how do we bring about transformation is looking at how do we surrender the pieces that we know we're holding on to in our life. Okay, I'm not going to ask you what it is, but how many of you know there's something in your life that if you surrendered it, you'd probably be making a step in the positive direction. Okay? Okay? So it's not that you necessarily need to go search real hard to find what it is that you could surrender. Now the part of the transformation is what are the steps? What are the process I do for that? And I'm going to offer that in the months to come, we're going to explore more of that. We're going to spend more time on how do we transform ourselves? How do we know the divine that lives within us? How can I express and be that light? Because you already are that light. How do I fully recognize that light? And how do I express and live from that light? So how do I transform so that I can know and feel that light burning within me every breath? Says, it is no longer I who live, but is the Christ who lives in me. Transformation is talking about the I here being the ego, who I believe myself to be. All my beliefs and struggles and strife that I hold up here and think about who I am, it's letting go of that. Paul most certainly let go of that because he had a belief about who he was, and he was an eradicator of Christianity at one point in his life. He let go of that life so that he could express what lives in him. This is also said in Matthew, those who find their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake will find it. My sake meaning the Christ awareness. So those who find their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake will find it. Well, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Actually, it's saying just what we're saying, that I have this life that I'm living. I have these thoughts and beliefs about myself. In the transformation, I let go of that life. I lose it, and I find a new life. And when I find that new life, what is there? It's the Christ awareness. It's the God self. It's that divine presence. It's my higher self. However you want to define it, whatever term you want to use for it. It's that discovery, that awareness. So here in community, we come together for lots of reasons. And some of it is just to play and have fun and have friends. Beautiful. And some of it is to come together and say, what can I do to help my life? And that may be translational. And we learn processes and ways of thinking about things and techniques, practices, all to help that unfold. But for the end result, what we're looking for is transformation. And I'm inviting, that's part of the surrender, is the intention that you hold. And that is that part of your intention is to be transformed? Then that's an intention you want to hold. You don't let it blindly just happen up on you in life. Hold an intention for that. Part of your prayer practice, part of your meditation is to take transformation into it. My prayer for the day can include that today is a transformative day for me. And then I take into my meditation, transformation opens itself how today? In what way today? What is my step today? What can I do now? However you want to phrase that, so that you're continually putting transformation in your awareness, so that your ability to find those places to surrender and to make the other steps that we can utilize, that we'll be discussing in the future, about transformation. But that takes us having an intention of that. That's an intention of our community that we may have not been stressing really well for us, is that how powerful community is for transformation, that deeper transformation. I think the founders of Unity, the Fillmores, understood that. That was so often what they were talking about, was that transformative side of us. While also giving us wonderful ways to approach our life, help us in our life, be translational in our lives. They covered the gamut too. So I'm going to invite, as a community, there's certain things that we do to support that transformation. Sundays remind us of that. Sundays, unfortunately, aren't structured so that we can offer a great way for transformation to take place just in this hour that we spend together. But it's supportive of that. It reminds us of that. It brings us into the thoughts and ideas that help us take those steps. It's outside of Sunday that the transformation can take place for us. And it happens where? It happens sometimes one-on-one. I've been reading this week about spiritual direction, and that there are people that their job is offering you spiritual direction. How are you going to find a Christ better, Jeannie? That's what they actually sit with you and offer. And they take years of training to do that. And then that's that person, like a good friend that traveled 13 and a half hours, that sits next to you. They too can offer you spiritual direction. Just in your conversations, they offer insight to what they know. And sometimes they're playing that role of spiritual direction for you because they're showing you perhaps something you're not seeing. Right? And that becomes their pointing a direction. We do that individually in community. But also, we've got our spirit groups starting this coming week. Spirit groups, yes, are a great place to make new friends, to have connections, to learn some material. But that's the intent of spirit groups, is transformation. It's to bring us into those places that we can have intimate relationships, that people can share deeply, but that we also can explore the practices and the ideas. And guess what? That doesn't always happen in the first 6, 7, 10 weeks. Sometimes that's an ongoing process for us to start seeing the full value of what it means to be in a small, intimate group with 3 people or 17 people, if that's the size of the group. So I'm inviting that spirit groups are a way for that transformation to unfold for you too. As well as, that's why I'm here. Come visit with me. I'll do my best to support you in that and offer you what I can in direction to the best of my ability, best of my capacity. And when I get run out of what I know and what I can do, maybe I can point you in a direction of who else. I use some great teachers in my life, and I use multiple teachers in my life. They all have a particular skill and an expertise, and they help me immensely, but I don't expect teacher A to necessarily do what teacher B does for me. And I'm offering that too, in that we sometimes restrict ourselves in our transformation because we're looking for it to only be in a certain way, in a certain experience, when transformation is available to us everywhere, because it's a spiritual process, and our spirituality isn't limited to just the building. Our spirituality is our body, our thoughts, our feelings, our experiences, and most certainly what we think about in our spiritual understanding. All of that is spiritual. There's no separation there. So sometimes we limit ourselves in that and what we could be doing because we're expecting it to be a certain way with only a certain person. I only trust so-and-so to share and talk about things with. Great, but they can only offer you this much because that's all they have at the moment. When you want, I can't get my arms that wide, okay? You want it all. You want the full breadth of it. So those people help with you with that so that you can get to a place that the transformation becomes so altering in your life that now the teacher becomes fully awake within you, fully aware within you, that you now call on that teacher. And the challenge is we think our ego, as we stuff more information in there, becomes our great teacher. Our great teacher is not our ego. It can sure share knowledge with us. It can pump things back out that we've learned. It can help us interpret things. But the great teacher is that what's within us. And when we get to that place that our awakenedness is expansive enough, then that teacher we can call on all the time. You already call on it now. And if you don't think you do, come chat with me. And we'll see where you actually do. Because sometimes we negate ourselves and think small of ourselves and think, I don't have any awareness of that small inner voice I hear them talk about. Okay? You do. It's getting it to the place in our lives that it's dominant, that it's transformative, no longer just in our personal life, but it becomes transformative in our external life. Because that's what transformation does. It's a totally internal process and an invisible process to most people outside of us. But it absolutely affects our external world, our relationships, our jobs, our thoughts and feelings and experiences, our health. All of that get impacted by that internal process. So today, I often end with, well, so what? Right? So what today? What are you doing with what I've done today, what I've shared today? Right? As always, you may have loathed it, didn't like it a bit, could have cared less what I had to say. Great. There's something in that for you. So what? What are you doing with it? And there was a piece that touched you maybe, or it made you curious. It's not enough just to be curious. So what? What are you doing with it? What's the action? Where's the motion? Where's the movement? Where's the intention now becoming action in your life? And with that, I invite you today to just close your eyes. There's a feeling taking place, a feeling in your body. There's an awareness there. There may be a heaviness or a lightness, a tingling, a pressure. I want you to be aware of that. Because as Tam and Bill take us into another song and we come back for meditation, I want you to remember that feeling. So as you're ready, just open your eyes.
There's a blessing here, a sweet blessing here. The Spirit that is me, the Spirit that is all. There's a blessing here, a sweet blessing here. Together we shall sing sweet Spirit song. There's a blessing here, a sweet blessing here. The Spirit that is me, the Spirit that is all. There's a blessing here, a sweet blessing here. Together we shall sing sweet Spirit song. Together we shall sing sweet Spirit song.
Yes, yes. I invite you to join me in our meditation time by gently closing your eyes. Just allowing yourself to be aware of your body in this seat. The pressure that you feel of the seat pushing back against your body. The awareness of your feet, where they're touching, where they're resting. And your hands, where they're at, how they're positioned. And now drawing your awareness to your breath. Being aware and feeling that rise and fall of your chest. The movement of your abdomen. The sensation of your breath moving across your nostrils, moving across your lips. This is your time. All that's come before and all that will follow are insignificant compared to this moment, this place, this time for you. You feel your body. Now come back to that feeling that we talked about earlier. Are there sensations in your body? Maybe there's a new one, a different one. What do you feel? Do you feel tingling? You feel cold? You feel warm? Is there an ache here? Is there a tightness over there? What are you feeling in your body? Just allow yourself to see it, feel it, recognize it. Be with that. There's no need to do something with it. You're not making it go away. You're recognizing it. You're being present with it. You're being present with you. Now, what thoughts are arising? What thinking is taking place? Just recognize those. And if you all of a sudden notice that you've gone down the rabbit hole and didn't remember where you were, you can always come back to your breath and that sensation of feeling your breath cross your nostrils to bring you to this moment, to this space. But allow those thoughts to be at the surface so that you can see them. You can recognize what's being thought. And what's the emotion here? Am I happy? Am I sad? Am I angry? Am I joyous? Am I elated? And now, coming back to your breath, now you're following that breath in. You're inhaling and it's coming inward. But it's not just filling your lungs. It's light, it's energy, it's love. This is the breath of life. And it's flowing inward. But that breath doesn't just move in with oxygen. That breath moves up from where your feet are touching the floor, flowing up and up and up. And it's coming to a place deep within you. Use your mind's eye and see that place, where it's at within your body, where that light and love are pooling, commingling, joining in a way that's brilliant and beautiful. And each breath adds to it, bringing that light up, inhaling that light in, and now seeing that it's also flowing down, flowing through the crown, flowing through the top of my head, moving down to that place. It's all meeting in one place. Allow yourself to bring you to that one place. All of your thoughts, all of your feelings, all of you, right to that place, resting where that love and light is. You can just enjoy the love, enjoy the light, feel it moving around you and through you, and also recognizing that it is you. You can simply enjoy that. It's your birthright. No one has to give it to you, and no one can take it away. But also here's a voice. This is your voice. The Christ within, your higher self. Ask a question if you desire, or simply ask, share. Show me, guide me, teach me. Show me, guide me, teach me. This is your place. This is your home. Your light burns here. It is brilliant and beautiful, and it warms every fiber of your being, and it cannot be contained. It cascades forth, shining outside of you. Just like your breath on the exhalation moving out, so does your light. It does not diminish you. It simply offers illumination and warmth to those around you. Transformation is your right. And as you claim your light, you claim who you are. As you bring your attention and awareness back to this space, back to your body and your chair, that movement of your breath across your nostrils, the rise and fall of your chest, know that your light is always there, and you have access to it. You always have access to it. For it is you, and you cannot be separate from you. So with that, as you're ready, open your eyes and be the brilliant, beautiful light that you have always been. And so it is.
So with this next song, we are going to say goodbye to Peter Mayer for a while, who's been our featured artist for this month. And I'm a little sad because I really like his songs. And it seems like in a lot of his songs, there's always one phrase, a verse or a phrase in a verse that I really like. And in this one, it's leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep. That just conjures up this image for me that's really cool. Anyways, Blue Boat Home. Below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life, never harbor nor port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun my sail and moon my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on, breathe the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. A wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Thank you.
Do you have a featured artist for February?
I believe it's going to be Dan Stanfield.
All right. Look forward to it. Thank you. We're often aware of the people that contribute and help and volunteer here. We often see Tam and Bill and know what they do for us, how much they share with us. We don't always see how much they work to get to what they show us. We may see Scott and Pam that help in the sound system, Tina that greets us at the front door, Jerry and Pat that help out in the kitchen, that always have coffee for us, always have something for us to nibble on in the mornings. We may see those people and know that what they give to us and what they offer to. I haven't finished. They want to make sure you don't get missed. We see some of that. And we see things like what Jeannie and the Women of Wisdom do with our outreach. But we also don't see the things that some of those people do that are behind the scenes completely. Like Jeannie. She does lots of things to make all that happen. That seems to flow so beautifully and easily and with grace and finesse. And it took a whole lot of oomph to make that happen. So we don't see that, as well as we clearly don't see the other people that volunteer here that are never in the public face. They aren't the people that we see. We have an incredible group of volunteers that we're blessed by, because this community cannot operate without volunteers. So I just want us to acknowledge those people and acknowledge today that as you're sharing your offering and giving your gifts, that you're part of that energy and that intention of sharing and giving and blessing this community with you. As we are blessed by the obvious people that are volunteers, we're blessed by you. We're no less blessed by you and what you're doing, what you're sharing, and what you're giving to us. So today I invite you to take your gifts in hand. If you give online, to hold them in thought. And join me in our affirmation. Together, divine joy as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Money is energy. We get attached to our green stuff, but it's energy. It flows and it moves. Some of us know how it flows out so easily. But some of us also, when we look and recognize how easily it flows back to, that it is a circle, that there's a continual movement with it. So invite us, we're going to take just a moment here. You might want to close your eyes and see this is energy, this beautiful light and vibration. And it's represented right here in these baskets. We see it as money and change and checks. We know it as credit card payments online. That's energy. And that we're breathing into that energy, offering our own love and light, so that that energy is being amped up. The vibration and the intensity of it allows it to move forth and to be able to touch this community, but empowers us to be able to touch outside this community, to embrace and love the lives that need to know that they are loved, and to empower the people to step up and embrace their own divine nature. We do so many good things with this energy. And we send it our love. And we send it our gratitude. And know that we are blessed. And so it is. Amen. Will someone go get Travis out of the kitchen, please? Will someone run and get him? Thank you, Andy. He didn't know I was going to pick on him today. We'll move on to announcements, and we'll do that next piece when Travis arrives after announcements. So let's go ahead and do our announcements. Jeannie, please.
So I heard you guys. I know you love the headbands. So I told Russ that I purposely got the ones with little combs in them because it helps them stay in the hair better.
Oh, look at it. Yes, it's got teeth
It's
to
got
stab into
teeth.
my hairless head. Thank you. Thank you.
So this is the beginning of Klarn. This is what I'd like to talk about. Thank you, everyone who was generously brought plastic bags in. Please do not bring any more plastic bags in unless you have flattened them, cut them, and then tied them together in one long string. If you want, wrap it into a ball so that the next step, which is crocheting them, makes it that much easier. So, and I want to thank everyone. This has truly been a community event, from Russ, Tam, Bill, Pat, Dave, and Tina, Gail, Amy, Deborah, Michael, who else am I forgetting? Marilyn. I cannot forget you. Pamela, thank you for bringing this to our attention. She's the one that came to me a couple months ago and said, how about if Women of Wisdom start making these mats for the homeless? I've seen people using them here in Arkansas. So thank you, Pam. We really, really appreciate it.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Oh, it fell off. It
Announcements
fell
are-
off, yes. The teeth didn't work. I'm sure that's it. Spirit groups. Our hosts will be right in the back. We have our sign-up forms back there, but I invite you to go back and visit with the hosts, hear what they're going to be offering in their programs, because we're unique this time in that we have quite an eclectic mix of topics that you might explore. You want to find out where they're at in town, so whether that works for you, because it needs to be reasonably convenient, unless you just have the free time to do that. But ask those questions and join one of those groups. I'm going to invite to you. There's not a reason not. There's no reason not to join. You can make up reasons, but there's not really a reason. So join the Spirit group. This Tuesday. Remember, purchase your tickets online. You'll save $5. That's for the multidimensional Star Nation contact. There's information in the insert. It sounds strange, so that's a good reason to go. It sounds fun, so check that out. We're $200 away from our needed $1,200 for TAM. So we just need $200 more. So if someone would, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yay for Tam, and thank you for your generosity for helping Tam go to the Posey Music Festival, because we know he's going to bring back good stuff, and we're going to be expecting it, right?
And thank you for letting me have some alone time. And I'm going to be hosting some major plarn parties that you're not going to want to be missed. So I'm just putting it out there. While Tam's in Florida, we're going to be plarning here in Arkansas. Put that on your calendar. And speaking of Tam, he's actually going to be speaking next week.
That's correct.
Now, I have to tell you, I'm going to have to
warned.
I have to admit, my admiration for you has increased a little bit, Russ, because I have watched Tam for 3 weeks now get ready to do a talk next Sunday for hours. And he said to me, guess what? I'm halfway done. I'm like, oh my God.
So appreciate Russ getting up here every week
So,
and giving a talk. So I
little
have a
bit
new
more
appreciation.
appreciation. Little bit more appreciation for you.
A little bit.
Little bit more.
Thank you. All right. Are there more announcements?
Community exchange is
yeah.
starting today. So back in the very back room, we have our first ever community exchange. That's for you to bring your very gently used clothing, bedding items, and non-expired, non-perishable canned goods. Tina, myself, and Jerry were here yesterday setting it up. We have a lot of stuff that's already been brought in. It's for you to bring stuff and take stuff with you. So it's a great way to help out everybody here. We will be accepting, you can continue to bring things until February 10th. Because on February 17th, we were going to be making lunch for our house. That's a Saturday. And when we transport the food over there, we're taking everything that is left and donating it to our house.
Yes. Great. Yes. Thank you. Yes. All right.
That's it.
Katie and Travis, would y'all make your way up here, please? 2 other announcements. And they both left me. Tell them to come back. Oh, yes. We're doing a new member Sunday on March 4th. For those of you that would like to join, there's an opportunity on March 4th. On February 18th, we're doing our Path 101, which is our new member orientation. We'll do that before the Sunday celebration on Sunday, February 18th. So for those of you who'd like to participate in that, let me know. Bookstore. We have 2 full bookcases full of books and CDs. Most of it's used, some of it's brand new, and they're everything from love offering to $2. So it's a great section. They will only be there for at most the next 2 weeks. So get in there and get what you want. To me, there's some good stuff in there for pocket change. So check that out, please. I have up here with me today 2 people y'all have seen up here, but we've not formally acknowledged them as being part of our prayer chaplain team. This is Travis Wiley and Katie Latour. They are formally part of our prayer chaplains, and to me, want to acknowledge that because they are helping us hold the light of this community, and they're most importantly helping us be able to recognize and see the light one-on-one when they pray with us. And they have put great effort and training into doing this. So I want to say thank you, and if you would, to give them a wonderful, wonderful welcome. I'll give you that and your name tag. And for you. And obviously, Katie will be our prayer chaplain for the day, so she will be up here and available after our service. And if you would join me in making our unity circle, we'll do our close. Thank you.
We're going to be in a circle, and then we're going to say that, and then we're going to sing the peace song.
I would appreciate it if y'all would just look around this room and see the people that are in this room and know that these people are your family. No matter what your opinion is of them, they are your family. And that in this circle, their hearts are touching your heart. And that everything that you're experiencing in life is a little better just because you've got a family here supporting you, loving you, caring for you, knowing that you matter, because you most certainly do. If you'll join me in our closing affirmation, if you'll respond in the white, please. The light of God surrounds us.
I am the light.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am the love.
The power of God protects us.
I am the power.
The presence of God watches over us.
I am the presence.
Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth. Let it begin with me.